we go. Slope formula, review. The slope of a line is the change in y's over the change in x's. Again, it doesn't matter which point you start from, just be consistent. Okay. When you find the slope of a line, if your slope is positive, then you know that your line is going to rise from left to right. In other words, your line is going to look like this. If your line is negative, or your slope is negative, your line is going to fall from left to right. Look something like that. If your slope is 0, then your line is a lazy line. Your line is horizontal. And those are those Y lines, those lazy lines. And if your line is, if your slope is undefined, then your line is vertical. Those X lines, and you look like this. Okay, calculate the slopes of the following and determine the appearance of the graph. So then just use your slope formula. Again, I like to actually set my formula up with fraction bar minus minus, and then dump in my y and my y, dump in my x and my x, and then do the math. What comes out here, plus positive, don't forget that, it's 11 over negative 8. Because your slope is negative, then what is going to happen here is your graph is going to look something like that. Again, slope, fraction bar minus minus, dump in your y's on the top, your x's on the bottom, do your math, -5, -2, don't forget, double negatives make a positive, so then your slope right here is going to be 5/2. Should probably do it this way, slope equals 5/2, the line looks like that. And maybe I'll just come down here, simplify this a little bit nicer. Slope is -11/8, and you're going to go that way. Try these next two. Fraction bar minus minus, y1, y2, x1, x2. When you do the math here, double negatives, you're going to get 10 over 0. You can never have a number over 0, empty set, undefined. This happens to be a vertical line. When we go to this next one, fraction bar minus minus, oopsie, y1, y2, x1, x2. Do the math here. 0 over -3. This happens to be your slope being 0. Then your line is, your line is lazy. So we're going to look like this, and you're horizontal. And this actually has no slope. So then what it says on the bottom, we're talking about parallel lines and perpendicular lines. I think you guys know that already. If you have parallel lines, then they have the same slopes. Drop this, drop this. And then perpendicular lines have negative reciprocals. Again, none of this should be new. Okay. Slope-intercept form. That's when you have to write your lines in the equation of y equals mx plus b. And then don't forget that m equals your slope and b equals your y-intercept. Again, that's where your line crosses the y-axis, where you begin your graph. So then state the slope of the lines parallel to and perpendicular to the graph of each equation. Well, what's nice is your slope is here. Your slope is 2 over 3. Remember, x is just a variable. It's got nothing to do with actually being a part of the slope. So slope of a parallel line would be the exact same slope, 2/3. Slope of a perpendicular line, negative reciprocal, -3/2. For this next one, we need to be able to get the equation into y equals form. So in this case, you're going to subtract 6 on both sides. Negative 5y equals negative 6 plus 11. Divide everything through by negative 5. I'm not showing you this work. You should be able to do most of it in your head. When you divide both sides by a negative, your slope turns into positive 6/5 minus 11/5. Once again, it doesn't matter what you have for your y-intercept when we're talking about parallel and perpendicular lines. There's our slope. The slope of a line that's parallel is going to be the same. The slope of a line that's perpendicular is going to be the negative reciprocal. Okay, finally, almost done. Determine whether the graphs of each pair of equations are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. If you look at both lines, you've got to determine their slopes. This first line right here, you already have its slope. This guy is m equals negative 2. This guy, we don't know yet until we get it into y-intercept form, and then we get the exact same slope. So these particular lines must be parallel. Let's check out these next two in number 10. In the first one, if we get this into y equals mx plus b, y equals 2/3 x plus 14/3. If we get this one into y equals mx plus b, bear with me with not that much room here, negative 3y equals negative 2x plus 2, and then y equals 2/3 x minus 2/3. Again, all we need to do is compare the slopes. I've got this slope to this slope. They look identical to me. These guys are also parallel. Last but not least, and then you'll be on your own for your homework. Let me bring this up. First line, right here, we will get this into slope-intercept form. Negative 7y equals negative 3x plus 1. Y equals 3/7x minus 7. This guy, 3y equals negative 7x plus 4. Y equals negative 7/3, whatever you want to call it, x plus 4/3. Compare these guys, and we've got a negative 7/3 and a positive 3/7. They are, in fact, negative reciprocals. These guys are perpendicular. There we go. Okay, so that's it. You should be good. Actually, we'll leave it at that. Okay, all right, have a great day. Bye.